Why do white women marry black men? This is a sociological question that touches on history, culture, and personal choice. There isn't one single reason, as relationships are built on individual connections. However, sociologists and demographers point to several key factors that help explain the rise in black man/white woman marriages in the U.S. 1. Changing social norms and attitudes. For much of American history, these relationships were illegal under anti-miscegenation laws in many states until the 1967 Loving versus Virginia Supreme Court ruling. As societal acceptance has grown, the stigma has significantly decreased, especially in younger generations. This allows people to form relationships based on personal connection rather than being constrained by racial boundaries. 2. The propinquity effect, increased contact. With the end of legal segregation in housing, schools, and workplaces, there is simply more opportunity for people of different races to meet and interact. This day-to-day contact in integrated settings is a primary driver of all interracial relationships. 3. Educational and economic factors. Black men are marrying across racial lines at higher rates than black women, and a significant factor appears to be educational and economic homogamy, the tendency for people to marry those with similar social standing. As black men have made gains in education and income, they are more likely to be in professional settings, like universities and corporations, that are often predominantly white, increasing their exposure to potential white partners. 4. The status exchange hypothesis, a contested theory. This is a classic, though debated, sociological theory. It suggests that in some pairings, a white woman may trade her racial status, which historically carries higher social prestige, for a black man's socioeconomic status, education, income. The theory posits that the man's higher economic attainment can offset societal penalties for being in an interracial relationship. While this theory is often cited, many modern sociologists argue it is too simplistic and doesn't account for genuine emotional connection or shared values. 5. Shared values and cultural appeal. On an individual level, people are attracted to partners who share their values, interests, and life goals. For some white women, this may include a shared appreciation for black culture, music, art, food, family structures, or a progressive political and social worldview that is race-conscious and anti-racist. The relationship is less about race and more about finding a compatible partner who happens to be black. 6. Representation in media. Over the past few decades, positive portrayals of black men in loving, committed relationships with white women in film, television, and advertising have become more common. This normalization in popular culture helps reduce unconscious bias and makes these relationships seem more familiar and acceptable. 7. The personal factor, love and attraction. Ultimately, at the micro level, the reason is almost always the same as for any other relationship. Two people met, formed a connection, fell in love, and decided to build a life together. While social structures create the conditions for them to meet, it is individual chemistry, compatibility, and love that seal the deal. In conclusion, it's a combination of structural changes, like integration and education, and cultural shifts, like media representation and declining prejudice, that allow personal attraction and love to flourish across racial lines. Subscribe and stay tuned to our channel for interesting discussions like this.